All right, this has been a fast hour, and we need to move ahead quickly for closing statements now. You will have 1 minute instead of 2. Mayor Bartlett.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to address our fellow Tulsans. It's been an honor to be your mayor for the past almost 4 years. We now have an opportunity in my re-election for the continuous leadership that we have not been allowed in the past 10 years or so. By continuing that leadership, by reestablishing and re-promoting the relationships that we have already established, given the economic development opportunities that we have throughout this country, it is a great, great, great chance for us to speak as a community as to what our future will be. In my view, the leadership that I have provided, both in the economic distress times that we've had, as well as in the activities such as the blizzard we had a few years ago, but also the economic development successes that we've had, it exhibits what more of the same would be. I ask you for your vote on June 11th. It's been my honor to be your mayor, and I think that it would be in the best interest of the Tulsa for this continuous leadership to continue on in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thank you very much for your time.
Mr. Christensen.
I would just say thank you for all attending, thanks for the opportunity, and I will just lean forward here for a moment and just speak from my heart. You know, I was on the city council for 10 years, and I took all of that very seriously. I learned a lot. I want you all to know that I will be an engaged mayor. I will be there for you, the citizens of Tulsa. You know, my little slogan for my campaign is I want to be a mayor for all Tulsa. And in my heart, I'm saying that because that's the way I am. When I was on the city council, I was whoops, excuse me. I was never the mayor. Yeah, that's right. I was,
tried to be.
Yeah. Oh boy. Does that count against me on my time? I'm sorry. Anyway, you know, I was an engaged city councilor. But my promise to the citizens of Tulsa is my phone will be on, my door will be open, my chief of staff will not be my gatekeeper, and I will work very hard for you and work every night and day, and I will do all it takes to be the best mayor Tulsa has ever had. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you all for being with us this evening. I don't think the stakes could have been any higher in this race for mayor. I think our progress has slowed in Tulsa. I think our vision has slowed. Even during the worst economic times, we continued to push forward, kept our budget balanced with $80 million less in the operating budget, not the capital budget, in the operating budget, maintained the required 4% reserve. But we also brought baseball downtown. We moved forward and achieved lasting reductions in crime, and we had more officers on the streets than we do now, and we invested in infrastructure. We made bold, visionary decisions that are making Tulsa better today, and I pledge to you, if you trust me with your vote on June 11th, we'll do the same thing again. Thank you.
Well, we told you to expect the unexpected. You thought you were done, but you are not. We, number one, want to point out that on KRMG and on Cox Channel 3, the Cox Channel, and 703, we will continue after this forum to speak with the candidates in a maybe more relaxed atmosphere, see if there's anything they want to restate. But we're actually going to give them that opportunity right now. Call it rebuttal if you will, but we'd like to give each one of you 2 minutes to rebut anything said about you here this evening, or if something you want to restate, you're welcome to do so. But you have 2 minutes each, and we begin with Mayor Dewey Bartlett.
I'm glad he's going first, you know, aren't you?
Well, that's an interesting opportunity. What I would like to talk about, once again, is our public safety issue. Because we do have a very, very good opportunity to take advantage of the cessation of a very, very small amount of tax money that we presently are paying. And will give us, if we reprioritize it, it will require a vote of the people. But it will give us additional police and fire academies, 70 new police officers, 45 new firefighters that will allow Chief Chuck Jordan and Chief Ray Driscoll, who have both crafted this approach themselves and their people, will give us an opportunity to have people on the ground, foot patrol, in the designated high crime areas, have task forces that Chief Jordan can designate into the areas that need things, that need boots on the ground. We don't have enough people for now. We'll also allow Chief Driscoll to open up a fire station in Far East Tulsa, a fire station that has been provided for by the public, but there are not enough people to man that particular station. That will give us an opportunity to lower the insurance rates in East Tulsa once that fire station is put into place. But it also will give us 3 dedicated street crews for the maintenance of our city streets. We've seen all the cones around town. We've seen what happens when we don't maintain our infrastructure, our street system, and that's exactly what we're missing today. By having those 3 dedicated crews, they will work full-time on things like fixing potholes permanently, crack sealing, putting in thin overlays. By that alone, it will defer by several decades the exact problem we're seeing right now where we're rebuilding and rehabilitating our street system. It will put that off. That's a direct result of lack of maintenance. This will provide us an opportunity to maintain it for several decades in the future and save us money. Thank you for the surprise.
Yes, Mr. Christian.
Well, I'll follow on that same thing, and although I will respectfully disagree with Mayor Bartlett at this point, I think we as a city, just like families do and businesses do, we need to live within our means. We need to operate with what we get. And what amazed me is that the current budget proposal by Mayor Bartlett calls for 1 police academy of 22 officers. Our attrition rate for the police department is 2.5 officers per month. So his proposal in this current budget is to actually end up with fewer police officers at the end of fiscal year 2014, June 30th, than we would start out with. I think that's totally unacceptable. I also disagree with him on making the .167 tax a permanent tax. That is growing government. We don't need to grow government. I commend the city councilors that are on board right now because I think Councilor Bynum and Councilor Karen Gilbert have come up with a plan, and they have found the money. Remarkably, they found the money in the budget to have more police academies. You know, we have to live within our means, and I think it's critical that we don't grow city government. You know, I just talked about that Roma tomato. How many of your salaries have gone way up in the last 3 or 4 years? You know, right now, the mayor has put a hiring freeze on. Everybody heard about that a while back. And we put a hiring freeze on because we weren't bringing in enough money. We were bringing in less money than we budgeted for. We projected this much money, but we only collected this much money. But keep in mind that our sales tax revenue for that same time period was 5% higher than it was last year. So, you know, the citizens are doing well, they're spending more money, they're doing their job, but we're trying to spend more money. And I just don't agree with that. We need to live within our means. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. As a small businessman that started my own business, I know the value of a penny. And we've got to save every penny we can, and we can't look to the taxpayers to just raise taxes.
Mayor Taylor, 2 minutes.
Well, let me first address the issue of the conference that I attended with Mayor Bloomberg, Mayors Menino, Mayor Daley, mayors from all around the country that were seeing violent crime increase in their community. Absolutely attended the conference. There were 3, as I said, 17-year-old kids who were murdered in our community, and I was searching for answers. Homicide, murder of children was not something I was prepared for, and I wanted it to stop. As Mayor Bloomberg's ideals became different than I would believe were my values and the values of Oklahoma, and Mayor and Councilor Christensen know, I withdrew from that group. I will agree with Councilor Christensen and respectfully disagree with Mayor Bartlett on the funding of additional police academies. I do believe if we are prioritizing it in the budget, the money is there, and I do think that Councilors Gilbert and Bynum have begun that dialogue. I think it's important, but I think it's important for another reason. If we permanently move money from the capital budget to the operating budget, we really are stealing from the future. We're stealing from roofs on police departments. We're stealing from community centers and parks. We're stealing from all the capital needs that this city continues to have. So I think that it is important. What we need to do is if Public safety is the priority of the next administration. We need to live within our means. We just received an update on the budget for next year. They're now projecting $818 million in the total budget. When I completed my term, the total budget was $566 million. There has to be money in that budget to hire additional police officers and do the additional things that we need done in this city if we use it right and we use it efficiently and we're transparent in the way we communicate it to the public. Thank you.
To all three of our candidates tonight, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And now you can actually relax. You are done, but we are not done. We will have a 30-minute live post-forum wrap-up on the Cox Channel 703 and on FM 102.3 and AM 740 News Talk KRMG.
Yeah, now that they're relaxed, we're going to hear from them in kind of a more informal setting. We're going to review tonight's forum. We'll let you know how you can review this forum and any other election information you might need in order to cast your vote next Tuesday. You can still text, though.
Immediately following this forum tonight, this will be replayed in its entirety on the Cox channel. Also, it'll be available on fox23.com and krmg.com, and tomorrow on Cox On Demand, Channel 1. And most important for everyone tonight, no matter what you've heard, make sure you get out and vote next Tuesday.
Text your votes as to who you thought did the best this evening. Text the name of the first name of your candidate to 45548. For Clay Loney from Fox 23, I'm Dan Potter. Be on tomorrow morning from 5 until 9 on News Talk KRMG with the KRMG Morning News. Stay tuned. Our coverage continues now on the Cox Channel and on News Talk KRMG.